Oh, should I be calling you Ryan? I'm not too sure.
Whatever works. Yeah, fine, either.
You're really huge over here in Australia, and a lot of fans are so excited that you're coming here. Well, I'm sure you get this a lot, but where did you get the name Kaskade from?
Actually, I haven't gotten that in a little while. That's good. That's a good one. Took down memory lane. There's no exciting story there. That's why people know. I think they read that there's no exciting story. It's me sitting around a lunch table with a bunch of blokes and just kind of coming up with the crap, and Kaskade's the one that's stuck.
Can you tell me a bit about the latest album, The Stray Light Seduction?
It's cool. It's album number 5. This was cool because, let's see, I had a collaboration with Dead Mouse on it, and that's the first time I've really collaborated with people.
It's the first time?
I've worked with a lot of other people, but never another DJ producer that's in the business. I mean, I've only, that was the first time I reached out to another touring DJ and been like, hey dude, I really love your sound. Let's work on stuff together. But we have collaborated with loads of vocalists and session musicians and plenty of other people along the years.
Mood for Me is a pretty upbeat single. What reaction would you like to get from your fans?
Well, I think I'm always just trying to write stuff that I kind of exude this happy, feel-good, hands in the air. That's the kind of music I make, so typically that's the reaction I get, but you never know. When
you're mixing a song, do you have to be in a certain mood for it?
Yeah, typically, I mean, the songs usually come together really quick. If I get an idea, I try and make it in a day or two. I don't screw around and wait a week or two. I create it, and if I get the idea, hey, this is what I want to make, inspired by whatever, meeting an old friend in the park randomly, I usually try and make it then and there really quickly within a day or so. You just want to make it while you're still inspired. Sure, it would be old if I waited a month, I'm not really feeling that anymore.
Out of all the songs you've mixed, what is your favorite?
What's my favorite song?
Sorry, this is a really tough question.
Yeah, that's really hard. Yeah, that's like saying who's your favorite child. That's a tough one. I don't know, on this album I really like how Your Love Is Black turned out. I think that's a great song, and Tamara Keenan, the vocalist on there, she's a girl out of London who I remixed one of her songs ages ago and then kind of linked up with on this record, and she sang Angel on My Shoulder, and then this song Your Love Is Black. It's definitely the one on the album that sounds a little out of the ordinary and maybe a bit out of place, but I think that's why I like it the best. Stuart Price is probably one of my biggest inspirations in this business, in the electronic world.
Yeah.
He's the guy who produced Madonna's last CD, not the last one, the one before that, but I've always been a huge fan of his, and he just produced the Killers album.
Have you ever met him?
I haven't, no.
Oh, is that one of the people you'd like to meet?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to work with Stuart. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love his music, so it'd be cool to work with him.
If you had to ask him something, what would you ask him?
I'd say, hey, you want to work on a track together?
So when was the last time you came to Australia?
I come once a year. I try to go once a year.
Oh, really? So whereabouts do you head over here when you come to Australia?
Last time I played, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. And then I played one other place that I don't remember.
Maybe Canberra.
Yeah,
it's those tiny ones that get left out for things.
I played 4 shows, but I can't remember where they all were. Maybe it was only 3 shows last time. I can remember that. The last trip was really, really quick. I think I was only there for 2 or 3 nights. And I gigged. Oh no, I played the Gold Coast last time I was there. That's right.
Your crowds look so massive. Everyone was getting fully into it because we all love you so much here. I saw your next tour schedule, and it looks pretty tight. One day here, another place somewhere else.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Do you ever get time aside from that to check out Australia?
Was it 6 years ago? I flew there, and instead of doing all the gigs in one weekend, I spread it out over a month. I played every Friday and Saturday. And I just stayed there. I stayed in Sydney the whole month, and I came down with my wife and kid, and we hung out. And I've actually done that twice. We went to the Sydney Zoo, and I have all these pictures from the Sydney Zoo. It was awesome. How
did you manage studying at the University of Utah, seeing as you also had to DJ to fund your tuition?
I think Americans don't party as hard as Australians. Yeah, really, it wasn't a big deal. It was snowboarding got in the way more than anything. That's really what got me out there, and it took me 5 years to get through university. It was more snowboarding.
What did you study? 5 years?
Communications, yeah, it should have only taken me 4 years, but, you know, yeah, I guess my mom won't be reading this interview now. My interview, my studies didn't really help me out anyway. It's cool. I honed my DJ skills and my production skills and got really good at snowboarding.
Now, I read that you landed a job as an assistant at OM Records and you began anonymously flipping your tracks into the stacks of demos there. Now, how did you feel when they picked up your demo, what I say? What was your reaction?
I was really excited. I mean, the story's been kind of overblown. That's 8 years ago. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool just to be recognized at the time. I mean, I'd been making tracks for 3 or 4 years up to that point. And then to just have somebody be like, oh no, this is great, we should commercially release this, that's a huge stroke, so
yeah.
It's exciting.
What goes through your mind when you're at a massive location and you're up there on the stage? What do you feel?
Those are the moments that it's all about, really, you know, dropping Be Still or Move With Me and having the whole crowd kind of sing along. Those are, I mean, all the phone calls and the hours on the airplane, like, those are fun things. The really fun parts are, you know, performing and connecting with people and creating music. I mean, I really enjoy the time in the studio, and I also really enjoy playing the music out for people, performing. This is always a treat. That's what I do it for, so. Must
be so much fun, though, as well.
It's hard to describe.
Have you ever had an embarrassing moment in front of a crowd, and how did you deal with it?
Embarrassing moment. No, the worst is, you know what's embarrassing, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. I was playing a huge gig in Denver, Colorado one time.
Yeah?
And the power went off for and this has happened to me in a couple huge gigs.
Oh,
I think this is probably the largest audience I was in front of. I mean, not so much embarrassing anymore. It's more or less, it's a huge pain in the ass because you're DJing and you get the people up to like a certain level of excitement.
Of course.
The power turns off, it's like dead silent. Everybody's like chanting and clapping, and you're just kind of standing up there like, hey. I always think like, man, this is what comedians feel like. They just have like a microphone and like you don't have any music to do, you know, there's...
So how do you deal with that? What do? You just stand there and go, okay, wait for the power.
Yeah, you know, I just throw them rock on, throw them like hands in the air, like, there's nothing you can do. I mean,
that's so funny.
Like, hey, I'm sorry, the power's out.
Do you have any tips for any others out there wanting to get started in the industry?
I always tell people that are talking to me that really want to get started is just kind of find your niche, something unique that you love. I mean, for me, it was making vocal music in an industry that's not so keen on vocals. A lot of dance music doesn't have vocals, so that was kind of my niche. So I always tell people kind of like follow your heart, you know?
Yeah.
Find what you really love and then work really hard.
You know, that's beautiful. So in life, what is something that means a lot to you?
Randomly, my family, my wife, my kids.
They must miss you a lot when you're touring.
That's the downside, but it's hard to complain when I'm living the dream, so.
Right after Melbourne, you're heading up to Chicago where you were born. Do you often go there a lot? And I bet the crowd must be pretty big over there.
Yeah, Chicago's a treat, for sure. It's one of the few cities here in the U.S. that I have a residency at. I go to the club 4 times a year, and I play there quarterly. And actually last year, I don't know, I forget the name of the company that does it, but it was a big award at the Winter Music Conference, was Resident of the Year, which was cool to be recognized for that. It's one of the things that I really enjoy going back home. And I don't play the obvious club, big, huge, you know, club. I play like very underground, kind of small, gritty spot that's been there for over 25 years that I actually used to go to as a kid when I lived there. So
that must be pretty cool.
It's always like a really cool, fun night. It's, you know, like the coming home party every time I go. It's great.
Oh, I've actually got to go. But thank you so much for your time today. You're such an inspiration to me. I don't know what time it is there or the weather.
Yeah, it's nighttime. But thank you. I appreciate it.